Hey guys, Tisha here, and we're back for another Sister Wives Season 2 rewatch. You guys, this episode messed me up a little bit. I'm gonna be honest, I got a little teary eyed and caught myself shedding a tear towards the end when Hunter was talking. This is Season 2, Episode 18, Sister Wives Holiday in Crisis. The family is still in Snowy Mountain, Utah, in the cabin, and they begin the scene with everybody coughing. Apparently, something went around because all the adults were sick. The kids are outside and they're playing. We find out at this point it's been 4 months since they went public. And by public, they're not talking about since they were filmed, but they're talking about them going on national television on various TV shows like The Today Show and letting them know that they're polygamous. Through the paper, this is what Cody says, and I really was like, wait a second here. Through the paper, they learned that the Lehigh City Police were doing an investigation on their family. The investigation is over, but now they've turned it over to the county. So when I heard this, my antennas went up because I was like, wait a minute. Does that mean that no one ever contacted the Browns? Does that mean that social services or officers or detective, no one in that field came and ever visited their home to question them? Because the way it was always presented, I always felt like they were under investigation because somebody came to them and talked to them and all these other things. Not that they were just going off what the paper and stuff was said. Now we know there was an investigation, but I really feel like looking back at this, that the family or Cody, whomever, made this seem like this was so much more problematic than what I'm now thinking it was. You guys let me know down below your opinions on it because I may be missing something, but that's just, what I gathered when he made that statement. They speak again about the history of what is done to polygamists when they get found out by law enforcement, and as a result, they feel like they need to go. They made some really drastic moves, in my opinion, for a family that never officially had been approached by anyone who was performing the investigation. I just don't get it. Most of the time, unless they see that the children are in immediate danger, they're not just going to yank the kids up out of their home. At least that's how it's done here where I'm at. There are people who have children, in my opinion, who the children should have been taken out of their home. But that is not the goal of social services, to split apart the family. So I just feel like they might have jumped the gun in some cases. We see Aspen, Logan, and Mary's child, and Maddie were told about the move. I'm thinking Hunter was 2, even though they told us 4, because Hunter is one of the children that are sitting down when they make mentions of telling the older teens about the move. When Maddie was told, she said that she told her mother that she couldn't make her go. When Mary's child was told, they said that they cried a lot. Logan seems to be like he's sad about it, but he's not trying to really complain too much. He adds that they were told by their parents that in a matter of weeks, they'll be leaving the state. My heart in that moment broke for them, partially because I remember how it felt growing up being told that we would be moving. I can remember as young as 6, remembering how I felt having to leave my friends. So I can only imagine what it feels like as a teen to be told that. Oh, and I was told that as a teen too. It sucks. It sucks a lot. I think it was harder for us back in the day because cell phones weren't as prevalent as they are now. But it still had to be hard for them. The kids get to enjoy the hot tub while being surrounded by the snow. I would enjoy myself with that too. We see Cody's on the roof knocking down snow and the icicles because there were some really, really long icicles hanging down. And Janelle was worried about one of them falling off of the kids. Of course, while he did it, he had to make a little bit of a show of it. But, you know, the kids laughed, he laughed, and he got the job done. We see the kids outside and enjoying sledding down the driveway and landing into this pile of snow that was piled up, probably from clearing the driveway. Seeing moments like that remind me of what I used to love about watching The Sister Wives. In the beginning, we looked forward to seeing these happy moments. We look forward to seeing them be together as a family. But now we know that the state is just so much different. So it's like bittersweet to watch. Robin, Mary, and Cody are going down on the sled. And at some point, Mary goes by herself. She doesn't slow down. She goes over a pile and lands into the house. And the clip made it seem like it was really dramatic. But Mary was laughing, saying how cool it was. She was fine. She wasn't hurt. It was awesome. Meanwhile, we saw scared Robin in the background talking about how crazy Mary is just because of the whole sledding thing. Robin said that while they're all in the cabin, while they were all there, that she couldn't help but look at some of the teenagers and seeing them drifting off and feeling like they were thinking like, okay, we know that we're going to have to leave soon, so what's happening next? Mary's child says that she doesn't want to talk about it. Aspen says that she's mad and she's sad just thinking about leaving her friends. She doesn't want to leave her friends. We know that Aspen, at some point after being married, did move back to Utah. Maybe not that area, but Utah. So I'm sure, and I'm hoping maybe she was able to reconnect with some of those friends. Of course, it was a lot later in life because we're talking about early teens to being an adult, college age. But, you know, if the friendships were really there and both parties put forth effort, it can happen. Logan says that it's not just that they're sad about the move and leaving their friends, but they're sad and thinking about why they have to move in the first place. The thought that they could potentially be split up is a lot. I don't remember how long they lived at this house, the one house that we saw in Lehigh, but the family really uprooted and changed what these kids knew. They went from all living in one home to being in separate homes. And I can't begin to imagine how much of an adjustment that had to be for them. Makes me think back to being a kid and how sad I was in the summer times when I had to go back home to my mom because I was leaving behind my dad and some of my aunts and uncles and my siblings and my cousin. It really, every time before I had to go, I would get depressed without fail. It was unintentional. It was like my body would anticipate me having to leave and I'd be sad. And I knew that in a couple months I'd see them again, or the following summer I get to spend the whole summer with them again, but it bothered me. Or I think back to being in the 10th grade and finding out that I would be leaving New York to move to Virginia, where none of my family was. And the thought of it, leaving my boyfriend, who, even though, I'm just going to add this tidbit in here, even though it's been years, we still have remain in contact to this day, because he was my best friend. So I remember how that felt. And that's part of me saying that I hope that Aspen was able to reconnect, because time does go by, and true friendships, if you both put in the work, it can last. But it broke my heart for these children. We see the family working in the kitchen. Christine says that she likes all the women working in the kitchen together. Robin says that she felt like it was Christine and Mary's kitchen, so she kind of stepped back a little bit and she should have asserted herself. I guess Robin decided that once they moved to Flagstaff, that's when she would really assert herself, because we see now that Robin is the one who makes the kitchen, who makes the turkey in her kitchen. So, slight dig, but Mary says we all know that it was Christine's kitchen, but it's okay. She was dominating the kitchen and Mary was just enjoying it, and they chuckle about it. It wasn't that big of a deal. They laughed it off. So I wonder when the problems with the kitchen started, because at one point, didn't we hear that one of the problems with not having multiple kitchens were that the sister wives used to have arguments about how things were done in the kitchen? So was this done before you guys were on television? Because in this kitchen, seeing this scene, it seemed like you all got along well. Cody said he enjoyed watching his wives in the kitchen knocking their hips together. It was nice seeing them laugh and have a good time. Robin points about how he got all cute about it, saying like, my wives are cooking in the kitchen. Janelle says that she disengages when it comes time for all of them to be in the kitchen, and when it comes time to all of them cooking and all of them cleaning. She's not really as domesticated. She says that one of the things that keeps playing in her mind is that in the beginning days that she would get comments about her being lazy when it came to that type of stuff. So it kind of plays in her head. I want to know who said she was lazy. Is this her referring to Mary? Because we've heard that Mary used to say some unkind things to them, to Christine and Janelle. So I wonder if she's referring to Mary. I just wish we got better clarification on that. We know that Janelle is not the cook. It's okay. Everybody isn't meant to do everything. After dinner, they all do their tradition with Mary, where Mary presents all the kids with the pajamas that she sewed. And Logan opens up his gift and he's very excited, and he makes a statement that he can't wait to sleep in these. And we see it become a fashion show where everybody shows their outfits. I caught myself smiling again. I must admit that Mary's pajamas are cute. She did a really good job. Like really good, like to get patterns and to sew. And she didn't do the same exact thing for everyone. Like some people had two pieces, some people just had the bottoms. She even did one for Truly. Like Christine walked out modeling Truly. It was really cute. Christine says that she does not want to move, and she does not want to make that decision out of fear. I guess this is part of the reason why now we know that Christine is also back in Utah. They start Christmas Day watching the kids hand out the gifts that they picked for their person. The kids are really excited. You can see the love. You can see the happiness. The sister wives, I'm assuming, exchange gifts as well, because we see a part where Robin gifted Mary with a statue of sisters dancing. It means so much to Mary that she starts crying. I feel like this is part of the reason why Mary cherishes her relationship with Robin more to me sometimes than Robin does with her. I think that Mary saw Robin as an additional sister, and Robin saw Mary as an ally. She says that they've developed a sister-like relationship, and it's very special to her. That's what Robin says. And she may have felt that way at that time. I'm going to try and give her the benefit of the doubt. But I also know that Robin knew that Mary was very much so an ally for her, because Mary was part of the reason why she was put into the family in the first place, along with Cody, because they did whatever they did behind the scenes to make that happen without Janelle and Christine's inclusion. So Mary thought she was forming a bond to have an ally, whereas No, Mary thought she was going to have an ally too, but Mary wanted an ally and a sister, where Robin, to me, just wanted an ally. Christine says there are times when you may be closer to one sister wife than the other. It goes in ebbs and flows. Kody asks Christine if she ever felt closer to a sister wife than him. She says no. And of course, the other wives say no as well. That's definitely changed. We know she was asked that question now. The answer would definitely be yes, she feels closer to some of her sister wives than him. Mary says that asking if the other wives feel closer to them, to sisters than him sometimes, is like comparing apples and oranges. Christine makes a statement that because they might be moving, she brought Mykelti a cell phone because she wanted to make sure that she could stay in contact with her Utah friends. Kody put his arm around her and says, are you still confused about, whether or not we're moving? Christine says, yep. Robin joins in and says she has a choice like all of us on whether or not she's going to move. Now, we all know that Robin knows that Christine does not have a choice in the matter. Matter of fact, none of them have a choice because nobody's working with the exception of Janelle and Kody. So what's your choice but to go with whatever the bulk of the family says? Come on, Robin. Christine says that she doesn't want to move the kids. She doesn't want to move her family. She likes where they're at. Kody says, I know you want some miraculous thing to happen, but at this point, there's nothing that can change his mind. Christine doesn't feel like he's listening to her point of view, and he feels like he is listening. But she says, how are you listening if you're saying we're moving regardless of what I said? I can't remember. Well, I should say I couldn't remember if Christine was okay with the move to Vegas, but this is showing me that she wasn't, which may have been part of the reasons why Christine later on let us know that she started being unhappy when they got to Vegas. They were in her marriage. Like, as far as her being a mom and her relationships with her children, she felt that improved, but she felt like her relationship with her husband and her sister wives kind of disconnected. Christine doesn't want them to make this type of decision and move out of fear. Remember, you guys, at this point, I don't even think that they were approached by an official. They made this decision maybe off of articles and what was said on the news. But to our knowledge, I don't feel like they were questioned. If they were, they should have included that in this whole section, because we're hearing the same thing over and over and over again. And at no point right now in what we've seen as of this episode have we been told that they were questioned directly by an attorney. We know that they got an attorney, but we don't know that they were questioned by one. Kody tries to make it seem, along with some of the wives, that everyone has a say-so. And when I say some of the wives, I mean Robin, because Robin was kind of chiming in more. Janelle wasn't saying anything. She was just sitting there. At the end of the conversation, Kody says, well, I'm the leader, so shouldn't I be making the decision? This is the first sign right here that we're getting of patriarchy, because he's said that I'm the leader, so I should be making the decision. Kody says that based on the need for the family to function in peace, that they need to move. That it's not out of fear, but it's out of taking control of their lives. Christine just doesn't want to move. Kody is in denial because, yes, you may be trying to take control of the situation. I very much so believes that he was trying to put his fate in his own hands, but I also believe that you made this move out of fear. You didn't want to risk losing your family, and it's okay. It's okay to say that, but to sit there and lie and say that you're not doing this out of fear, no, fear very much so has something to do with it. We're hearing over and over and over again how hectic things are and how chaotic things are and how uneasy you feel and all of this due to the possibility of you being removed from the home or you losing the kids or whatever. That is fear. And it's legitimate fear. But to sit there and say it's not, that's not right. We see the family get on snowmobiles and have a good time. The parents are heard saying that they were hoping that for the older kids that this would be a distraction. Yeah, right. The parents rock these kids' world right before Christmas. How is going on any type of trip where there are no distractions other than your siblings? They don't have cell phones. Remember, they said this was a remote location. How is that going to distract them? If anything, it's going to give them time to sit in their thoughts. Maddie says that if they don't leave, there is a potential that they could be separated. Aspen points out that they all want to stay together as a family. Cody says that no one wants to do this. No one wants to move. But in spite of the emotional challenges, the financial change, the change in school and all these other things, he knows that this is what needs to happen. Christine says that she always thought that Cody wanted to move. He seems so excited about everything and about moving. And while she's saying this, Robin is shaking her head no. She's like, the whole time Christine's talking. Cody says, if I don't approach this from a positive angle, if I'm not optimistic about it, then what are the teens going to do? I want to highlight the fact that when Christine said that she thought he wanted this, and when Robin was shaking her head no, that this makes me feel like they had certain discussions, Cody and Robin, in regards to this move that Christine was not privy to. Christine said in earlier episodes that Cody and her don't talk. Like, he doesn't use her for communication. He does that with Janelle. Her and Cody don't have that. Her and Cody have banter. They have fun. She's his cook. She dotes on him and those things. But they don't talk about important things. Not to the degree where she would want to. Kind of to the point where Cody treats her like she's not an intellectual person. This right here showed the disconnect. Because how is it that your wife does not know that you don't want to move? How is it that your wife thought that you wanted to be happy about this move? It's very possible for you to feel those things and to show that you're happy in front of your kids. But when it comes to you and your wife and you're in that bedroom together, these are conversations that should have been had. Christine should have known, just like how Robin was so readily there to shake her head no. Christine should have known how Cody really felt. One of the kids says, at the end of the day, the adults had to consider if it's better to leave and be separated or to stay and keep the family together. No, I said that the wrong way. To stay and be separated or to leave and keep the family together. There we go. Maddie talks about being sad, leaving her best friends, how they were ready to be legends in the town. And then we get to Hunter. I gotta drink some water because I feel my eyes welling up already. Hunter said he's mad. Hunter is crying and saying that he is really upset that they're leaving. He said he's leaving friends, relatives, and his team, and it's going to be tough. And that's not fair. And as he was sitting there crying, I felt so badly for him because Hunter was extremely active. And yes, when he got to Vegas, at some point he did bounce back. But goodness gracious, if this didn't remind me of how he was when they moved to Vegas. We sat there, and right before our eyes, we witnessed Hunter going through depression. And some may even say that he was going through some form of stress. And then I think back to how, rather than some of the adults acknowledging it, that they criticized Hunter for it. And it just broke my heart. Now we know Hunter is big stuff. Like, Hunter went to college, and I can't remember if he's a nurse or something. Hunter is graduated at the top of his class, went to a higher institution of learning. He's there for his siblings. When Isabel had her surgery, he was there. When Maddie's child was going through stuff, when he could get there, he was there. He's there for holidays. He is hands-on. He communicates with his family. He loves Christine, and that's not her biological child. Hunter makes me happy. I got a little soft spot for him. And this reminded me of one of the reasons why I ended up really appreciating his growth that we got to witness through the show. This was an episode that really had me thinking, got me a little emotional. You guys, let me know what you thought of the episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. My channel is growing slowly but surely, and it seems to be because of Sister Wives. You guys like it? I'm gonna keep giving it to you. Until next time.